This is the second tip of the fat-soluble vitamins. That's vitamin D. Last time we talked about the vitamin A, and okay, this is the second one, vitamin D. In total, there are 4, right? Okay, let's see. So the vitamin D, and I would say, is responsible for increasing the intestinal absorption of calcium, iron, magnesium, phosphate, and zinc. So it helps us to absorb some minerals, the calcium, iron, magnesium, and other chemicals inside our body. And so actually vitamin D is not actually a vitamin, it's hormone, okay? It's related to cholesterol. Are you, Rebecca, why you talk about this? Because you know, a precursor from the cholesterol, I don't think you need to know the name here, okay, just for your reference, 70 hydrocholesterol and bind to UV light, and then vitamin D is formed. So it's related to cholesterol because it comes from that, right? And so that's why you find it on the handout. It's formed by the action of the UV light on the vitamins. So using the UV lights bind to the cholesterol, that means the precursor of the cholesterol, and then you will get the vitamin D. Okay. So vitamin D can be synthesized by ourselves, right? We can make it. Just expose ourselves to UV light, and then we can make the vitamin D. Actually, okay, vitamin D is very important because it regulates the mobilization of calcium in bone. You know, okay, for the calcium ions, okay, we need vitamin D and help us to regulate the movement of it into and out of various parts of the body. Let's say blood plasma, let's say the bone tissue. So we need vitamin D to help us to control the movement of calcium ion, to regulate it. As I just said, right, vitamin D is not a true vitamin. It can be synthesized in the presence of sunlight. So, okay, just expose ourselves to sunlight, and then we can synthesize the vitamin D. You know, if we just stay, keep ourselves, stay indoor, not exposed to sunlight for long time, and okay, no vitamin, okay, D from the food source, and then okay, we still have the deficiency. That deficiency we call the rickets, and that is softening of the bones. The bones is not rigid, it's not strong enough, it becomes soft. In general, I would say there's no dietary requirement for the vitamin D if we expose ourselves, okay, under sunlight with the adequate light exposure, and no need to take in vitamin D. But if you just keep ourselves, stay at home for a long time, then you may need vitamin D from the food source. I would say, okay, yeah, because we can synthesize it. Basically, we don't need to get it from the food. Just have some for examples, can give you the vitamin D, let's say the fish, butter, the egg yolk, okay, and with the vitamin D. And same as vitamin A, if it take in lots of the vitamin D and it's still toxic, right? Last year, okay, and this is the symptoms we found. Okay, there's excess vitamin D, let's say the vomiting and over calcification. You know, rickets is the the symptoms we observed. If we are lacking of vitamin D, what's that, and how to discover that? Okay, early in the 70s, 50s, and there is a migration of the population to the cities. During that time, okay, when the winter, okay, the daylight hours is very short, so that means not enough, okay, sunlight exposure. Other than that, okay, during that time, okay, due to the pollution problem of the smoke pollution, that will reduce the sunlight. So the result is there's no enough, okay, exposure of sunlight. Other than that, during that time, okay, those workers are quite poor, and they don't have enough money to buy the food. Let's say the fish, eggs. Okay, probably all these are expensive, and with no food source of the vitamin D. And other than this, yeah, you know, right? Okay, long time ago we don't have the refrigerator, and the transportation is not so efficient, right? And most of the workers, they just want to work on foot. Due to all these reasons, so they may not have good enough source of vitamin D from the food. No surprise, the vitamin D from sunlight or the food source, and the result is, wow, we found that over that time, children were found to the soft bones, and when they started to work, they couldn't do that. So they will have the bent leg. And actually, this could be cured if we send the children to the country again to the countryside, exposed to sunlight, and then our body can synthesize the vitamin D again. So that is the picture showing you with air pollution problem, and then cover most of the sunlight. Okay, we can't expose to sunlight. The result is, you see, these children, okay, they will have the bent legs. That's the problem. That is called rickets. Okay, or you may say, okay, the bowed legs. You know, okay, bones. Okay, why we have this such results of the bow legs, the bent legs, and because you know bones are made up of the collagen, and which is a protein, and it's quite soft, but it's tough, provide the elasticity of the bones. Other than the collagen, okay, it's made up of the calcium phosphate crystal as well. Calcium phosphate crystal is a bit hard, but brittle. It provides the rigidity of the bones. So collagen, calcium phosphate crystal together, okay, that is the main composition we found it in bones. And I would say, okay, at the early stage, and then let's say just the infants, at birth, all the bones are soft. This permit the delivery, right? Okay, if the bones are strong and hard, mommy may not be able to deliver the baby. So the bones at that stage, they are all soft. So mainly in the collagen. And after first year, they need to support the baby weight, right? The body weight. So that's why the bones start to become rigid. How to get this and how to achieve that? That is through a mineralization process. Mineralization, that is the deposition of the calcium phosphate crystals. And calcium phosphate crystals, I just said, right, it is a bit hard, brittle, gives the rigidity of the bone. So inside the matrix, calcium phosphate crystal, that composition increase, resulting in a strong bones without being brittle. So more calcium phosphate will make the bones a bit stronger and hard, right? And to support ourselves, to support the body weight. And that process, we need vitamin D help us to do it. So vitamin D is important, in the baby stage. Here, this diagram shows you the metabolism of the vitamin D. Yeah, there are two main sources. One is from the sunlight, and then we synthesize it inside our body. Second is from the food source, right? Let's say milk, eggs. We can provide us vitamin D. And there are two main sources, sunlight and from food source. But I would say, these vitamin Ds, they are inactive form. They're inactive. So that's why we have to activate it. How to activate it? inside our body two main organs. Okay, that's the liver and kidneys. Okay, what the enzymes there, okay, to activate the vitamin D. After activation, and then we can use it. What's the use? Just that, right? Vitamin D can increase the bone mineralization, so that we'll have more calcium salt and to make the bones a bit more rigid to support their body weight. And other than that, as I said earlier at the very beginning, vitamin D can help us to absorb the calcium. Let the calcium move in, out, right? The transportation part. So these are the uses. That's all for the vitamin D. Is it clear? Simple and easy, right? Apart from vitamin D, okay, the third one is the vitamin E. Vitamin E refers to a group of compounds that include two chemicals. One is tocopherols and the other is tocotrienol. Tocopherols is the main part. It's found in high level of the vegetable oils, for example, sunflower oil. It acts as an antioxidant to protect the cell membrane. That's the main function of the vitamin E. Acts as an antioxidant. How to achieve that? And the idea is simple, but I don't think you need to know the details. Tocopherol reacts with the oxygen, and after that, it will stop the formation of the reactive oxygen species. This reactive oxygen species, actually, it will damage the cell membrane. Now, tocopherol reacts with oxygen so that it can't generate any reactive oxygen species, so it can't attack the cell membrane. So that's why we will say it acts as an antioxidant. Antioxidant, that means to remove the oxygen like or to protect the cell membrane. Without the reactive oxygen species produced, so that the cell membrane can be protected. Do you get what I mean? I would say in general, we should have enough intake of vitamin E because we'll use vegetable oils to cook the food, right? But if someone is under controlled experimental diets, maybe there's a deficiency. But in general, we should have enough intake. Apart from the vitamin E, the last one is vitamin D. Vitamin D is widely available from the green food. Let's say the vegetables, broccoli, let's say kiwi fruit, right? We have the vitamin K. It can be synthesized by symbiotic bacteria in the gut. Actually, vitamin K is so important because it is essential chemical that we need in the blood clotting. And same as vitamin E, vitamin K, we should have enough intake. But if someone is under controlled experimental diets, may have a deficiency of the vitamin K. Maybe some patients, they have the colon cancer. After surgical or by removing the intestine, they may have a deficiency of the vitamin K. Or some patients, they are under antibiotic treatment and they may have the vitamin K lacking, right? But in general, normally we should have enough vitamin K intake. I just said, right, vitamin K is important, is essential in the blood clotting. Let's see the information about that. So, you know, if accidentally there's a damage of the arteries, there's a cut of the blood vessel, and down with the breathing. We did stop breathing, right? Blood clotting. So that is essential to protect us from fatal of the blood loss. If there's accidentally there's a cut of the blood vessels. So how to do it? We'll discuss it. But you know, there's a group of people, they are inherited defects in the blood clotting factors. And if there is a small cuts of the blood vessel, will keep breathing. The blood does not clot and breathing until death. And this group of people we call as the hemophiliacs, right? This group of people, they have to prevent themselves have any injuries, any damage of the blood vessels. Otherwise, okay, this is okay, serious, because their body don't know how to stop bleeding. And how to cure, how to keep them. Actually, there's no curing method, but how can we keep them survive? Probably they may need a transfusion of blood regularly to ensure they have okay, enough blood. And that is okay, quite problematic, right? And so to the normal ones, how to do the blood clotting, how to stop bleeding if there's got injuries or there's a cut in the blood vessel. And I would say the idea is okay, I'm simple, but okay, it works automatically. We do not need to okay, press any button inside our body and then, oh, okay, stop bleeding, please. No need. Okay, can do it, can control it, okay, by ourselves. So blood clots fill the hole in the artery. Let's say if there's suddenly okay, there's a hole in the artery that's bleeding, and then okay, the blood clots will fill the hole. How to do it? Inside the blood, the blood protein fibrinogen will convert it to a sticky form because of fibrin by a coating factor. That coating factor includes vitamin K. So that's why vitamin K is essential for the blood clotting, because vitamin K helps to convert the fibrinogen to the sticky form fibrin. And fibrin formed will okay, the fibrin will form the mesh across the hole in the artery, try to trap the blood cells, try to stop the bleeding, to form a plug and seal the gap. Okay, cover the hole like and block the hole so that okay, our breathing could be stopped. That coating factors are essential triggers that are actually including several types, let's say the proteins and also the vitamin K. So that's why we will say vitamin K is essential. Okay, in the process of forming fibrin okay, can help us to trap the blood cell if okay, there's accidentally there's a bleeding. And let me show you the diagram and give you a general idea. So all these red balls are the red blood cells. Let's say if there's bleeding, and then okay, these red blood cells okay could be trapped by the fibrin form. The fibrin okay, like these lines, okay, that's the fibrin. And the fibrin okay, trap the red blood cells, and then okay, form a plug, and then okay, you may say cover the whole line, okay, stuck it, so that okay, our breathing could be stopped. Okay, that's all for the fat-soluble vitamins. Here is the last slide summarize all these 4 vitamins we discussed. With the vitamin A, D, E, and K. Here let's all the okay, the main source, the dietary sources. And as I said, vitamin A, I think you have a general idea. Okay, eating carrots for the vitamin A, because it will give you the beta carotene. Then I'll give for the retinol. Okay, we get it from the dairy products. And for the vitamin D, it's factual. Yeah, you may get it from the dairy products, but in general, we can make it if we expose ourselves to under sunlight. For the vitamin E, okay, I just said, right, we got it from the vegetable oils, for example, the sunflower oils. Vitamin K, yeah, easily obtained from the green vegetables, kiwi fruit, right? And all these vitamins, they have their own function and uses. Please do a version on that for each one. Right, I don't want to repeat it once again here. And then, okay, for each type of vitamin, if, okay, we take in too much, that's problem. With, okay, that's not enough intake, what's the problem too? So I think you need to know, okay, the deficiency, right, on each case. Let's say vitamin A will have the light brightness, vitamin D with the rickets, vitamin E, vitamin K, okay, what's the problem? So you should know all these. Is that clear? That's all for the fat-soluble vitamins I would like to share with you. Thank you.